Ready for this?
Yeah.
I don't know which mic is actually going to be on.
Readjust.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I think my thing is probably down.
Thank you.
Look at Missy. Look at Missy.
They leave you a spot?
Yes, they did. I can see it in between Cam and Aspen. Oh gosh. 6 years for some of us.
Classmates, you may be seated. "2023, while just a number, it's the number that has defined our class for the last 13 years of school. From the minute we entered the doors of Tremont Grade School, we became a numerical unit. After today, this number will no longer be what we are known as. Instead, when we walk out these doors, we will be defined by who we are as individuals. When writing this speech, we realized how funny it is to be defined by our graduating year number, the class of 2023, for all these years. But when thinking about it, there have been many other numbers that have been equally important to us throughout our years in the Tremont school buildings. We will now give you some statistics about our years in school. In grade school, we had 5 of our most carefree years.
6 years for some of us.
We had 88 hours of kindergarten nap time.
4 total hours of which we actually slept.
3 grade school principals.
4 if you count Mr. Garrett twice.
1 field trip to Summer Park on the hottest day of the year.
7 people who passed out while dipping candles.
And yet they went on that field trip again this year. We had 70 recorders at our 4th grade concert.
And 16 different notes were played all at the same time.
We had 2 field trips to the zoo.
0 animals were harmed.
5 field days in grade school.
32 fights about who was going to win tug of war.
In middle school, we had 4 years in those.
3 years of which we didn't learn anything after lunch.
We went through 2 traumatizing dog deaths at the end of Where the Red Fern Grows.
And 30 times Miss Scully has cried while reading Where the Red Fern Grows with her students.
We had 90 mealworms under our care.
47 mealworms that died when we took them home and forgot about them.
We had 1 turtle as a class pet.
180 times that turtle wished that we would leave it alone.
We had 4 talent shows.
3 performers that were actually talented.
When the 8th grade baseball team got 4th in state.
4,000 times we've heard about that.
We watched 1 documentary on the Salem witch trials.
7 visits to a psychiatrist.
There were 139 different fidget spinners played with in class.
And 100% of our teachers hated those fidget spinners.
And 75 students remembering the dolphins on the
If you know, you know.
In high school, there were 2 band trips to different bowl games.
And 1 senior trip to Groveland.
We had 45 remote days at the end of our freshman year.
0 learning days during that time.
There were 86 hall lockers assigned to our class this year.
2 times someone actually used those lockers.
There were 68 hours spent out at Brady Ullman's shop for the homecoming float.
12 hours were actually spent working on the homecoming float.
We had 2 different principals.
3 if you count me.
There were 52 different dad jokes told by Mr. Emig.
There were 2 good jokes told by Mr. Emig.
We had 315 days of mandatory mask wearing.
4,784 times they're told someone to pull their mask back up.
There were 20 TikToks made by Miss Eve.
And 20 times some students actually opened their emails.
We had 3 homecoming dances due to COVID.
And 1 very hot homecoming dance that we pulled off outside.
And most importantly, we had 4 homecoming games day wins.
And 1 where we finally got recognized.
But we also had
2 normal and fun proms with not affected by COVID.
We had 12 work-based learners who learned real-life skills and will use these skills for the rest of their lives.
We had a 95% pass rate on the AP Lit exam, the highest pass rate on any AP exam this school has ever had.
We had 38 classmates in the National Honor Society, putting on 4 blood drives and assisting with several other events for the school and community.
Second place in wrestling team state.
Camry Geyer went to 3 different events for state.
13 different events. And 1 tractor that was restored and 2 amazing ag days ran by the hardworking FFA.
We had 10 classmates that rode on donkeys that provided the rest of the class and community entertainment, if you can count what Alex Garcia called it riding.
$20,000, which our class helped raise in donations for one of our peers last year.
And we had over 4,160 community service hours put in by our class.
And lastly, 704 unforgettable days of high school. As we move into this next phase of life, we can't help but acknowledge all of these numbers that have framed our schooling in the Tremont School District. We would like to thank the countless number of kind, dedicated, and amazing teachers, support staff, and administrators who have helped us to get to this point today. And for our families and friends that have helped guide us through every single one of these moments along the way. Without these people, we wouldn't even have these numbers or be here today. When we walk out those doors, we are no longer going to be collectively tied to the number 2023 or any of these other numbers. We may miss the teachers and friends that we had here, but we are entering a new and exciting stage of life. Class of 2023, the time for us has come to create new stats and new numbers. Go out and count in the world. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and graduates. Thank you for being here today. Everyone says that high school flies by in the blink of an eye, and I really didn't realize how true that was until now, standing in front of all of you. 13 years felt like 1 minute, and now we are here to finish up a huge chapter of our lives. Leading up to this very moment, we have grown and changed in so many ways, from the little kids who knew nothing about what the next 13 years would hold, to young adults who are taking on the world. In many ways, I think we all grew up into being people that the younger version of us would have loved or would have admired. So I wanted to take a quick trip down memory lane today with all of you by revisiting the last 13 years. So almost 13 years ago today, we were 5-year-olds being told that we were no longer going to be at home all day and we'd be going to elementary school. So off we went to conquer what is Tremont Grade School. We went from recess and crafts to well-rounded 10-year-olds. 8 years ago today, we were finishing 4th grade and excitedly awaiting middle school. We were finally going to rotate classes, pick instruments to play in band or sing in choir, and of course what really mattered, picking what we were going to eat for lunch. So once again, off we were to begin possibly the most awkward 4 years of our lives. A time of first crushes, friendships blooming, and finding what we really enjoyed about school. Then 4 years ago, we were 8th graders being told that high school is knocking on our doorstep. We finally got to pick our own schedules and begin to have a semblance of what growing up truly felt like. 3 years ago, our freshman year was cut short due to COVID-19, but that didn't stop us from making the best of the situation. We took the whole era of COVID and made it into some of the best times of our lives. 2 years ago, we were done being underclassmen, nervously awaiting what is considered the hardest year of high school, junior year. But of course, since we're all diligent and engaged students, that was going to be a piece of cake for us. 1 year ago, we were all amazed at the fact that we were about to be seniors, applying to colleges, starting the hunt for scholarships, and relishing in our first time of everything. This past year has now gone by in the blink of an eye, and now here we are. I know it's cliche, but we made it. Over the years, we've created bonds that will last a lifetime, and I truly can't imagine what this next step is going to look like outside of Tremont. But rest assured, we aren't losing each other forever. I read once that we are all combinations of the people around us. We pick up on what others do and begin to do them ourselves, and that's what makes us unique. I know when we leave here today, I want to have the work ethic of J.T. Kaiser, the kindness of Alita Prail, the confidence of Kelsey Allred, the contagious smile of Peyton Tanner, or the spontaneity of Josh Souter. A very important thing to remember as we leave today is to breathe. Take a moment and take a breath before jumping into doing something. Life goes by so incredibly fast, and we really have to take a moment to enjoy it all. An NYU graduate last year said this in her speech: breathe in, breathe through, breathe deep, breathe out. Yes, I did just quote Taylor Swift. But those words will be important to remember today as we leave through the back doors of the North Gym. Because the scary news is you're on your own now. But the cool news is you're on your own now. Thank you to everyone who had a hand in helping us become who we are today. We truly couldn't have done it without you. The late nights with our parents, the constant emails and questions for our teachers, and our friends who watched us navigate all of this. To our teachers, thank you for everything you've given us in the past 4 years. We won't forget it. You guys have done so much, and we can't put into words how much we will miss you. To our families, thank you for investing so much of your time into us. We promise to make you proud. To the administration, thank you for all of the work you put into making days like this possible. Your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. And to my fellow graduates, thanks for being some of the nicest, best, and coolest people I've met. I don't think they can or will be forgetting us anytime soon. So for one last time, make good decisions and have a great life.
Thank you, Sean, Ian, and Maria for representing your class today. Now it's time to recognize some academic achievements of the class of 2023. A few years ago, Tremont High School switched to a 3-tiered system to categorize seniors with the highest cumulative grade point averages. This system matches that of many colleges and universities, categorizing students as cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude. Will our students who are graduating with the distinction of cum laude please stand? These students have a GPA of a 3.5 to a 3.91 after their 8 semesters of high school. They are being distinguished with a gold tassel. Graduates, you may be seated. Will our students who are graduating with the distinction of magna cum laude please stand? These students have a GPA of a 3.92 to a 3.97 after their 8 semesters of high school. They are being distinguished with a gold tassel and a gold cord. Graduates, you may be seated. The highest category, summa cum laude, is made up of students who achieve a cumulative GPA of a 3.98 to a 4.0. Will our students who are graduating with this distinction please stand? These students are being distinguished with a gold tassel, a gold cord, and a gold sash. I would like to recognize those students at this time. Students, please come forward to receive your medal when your name is called. These students have achieved summa cum laude over their 8 semesters of their high school. Shane Andrews. Gustav Hodges. Jackson Kaiser. Please stay up here, graduates. Ian Cook. Levi Lonis. Anna Parn. Isabella Porritt. Alita Prale. Lindsay Rao. And Lauren Wagenbach. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the summa cum laude graduates from the class of 2023. Graduates, you may find your seats. In addition, several of the members of the class of 2023 were awarded scholarships from community organizations and also their colleges of choice. Please refer to the list in the program for those students who were awarded scholarships. Today, I would like to welcome you to the graduation of the class of 2023. You may be seated. Thank you. Seniors, today is about you and the milestone you reach as you cross this stage. However, none of this would be possible without the crowd who has gathered to watch you. Will the parents of the class of 2023 please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Graduates, your parents, grandparents, and families have supported you and will continue to do so throughout your life, long after you walk out the doors of Tremont High School today. Please give your parents another round of applause and thank them for all they have done. There are people in this district that I would like to recognize who have made this day possible. Thank you to Mr. Hilrich and the band, to our technology staff who have made a live streaming possible today. Thank you to Mrs. Litweiler for your endless help and the work you put into this day. You truly bring it all together. And I would also like to thank Mr. Berry and the Board of Education for your leadership and support of the district. Graduates, without these people mentioned, this day would not be possible. Please take a moment to recognize them. There's one final group of people that I would like to recognize today, a group you all know very well. Staff, will you please stand? Thank you. Graduates, your teachers have celebrated you and felt the pain when you are down. They have coached you, cheered for you in the stands, and can look at you today with utmost pride. Seniors, your teachers have dedicated their lives to helping you get where you are today. Please give them a hand. There are two teachers here today that I would like to give special recognition to, as they are graduating from Tremont High School as well. Mr. Lou Wicks and Mrs. Kathy Gennard have both given exponential time to the Tremont district. Lou Wicks has coached, taught, volunteered, and fulfilled multiple jobs in the Tremont district for the past 26 years. Mr. Wicks could not be here today, but I wanted to recognize him anyway. And Mrs. Kathy Gennard has been at Tremont for 25 years. In that time, Mrs. Gennard has served as a school counselor and has helped numerous students, all the students in that time, throughout their 4 years of high school. She has mentored and volunteered and filled many roles throughout the district. As Mr. Wicks and Mrs. Gennard embark upon a new life with fewer bells and more relaxation, we wish them the very best and appreciate them for all of their hard work and dedication. You are the class of 2023, and like Ian and Sean said, this is a number that will tie you together forever. But it is now time to leave the safety and comfort of what you know and gain new experiences. In the class of 2023, you have classmates who are going to ISU, Bradley and ICC, who are going into the workforce, to Texas Christian University, the University of Connecticut, the University of Notre Dame, and these are only naming a few. You have classmates who will be teachers, farmers, cosmetologists, psychologists, welders, and many other chosen career paths. Some of your classmates are going far, some are staying close. Some will continue athletic careers in baseball, football, volleyball, and track and field. You are all from the class of 2023 with the same shared experience of high school, but you will leave here today and go out into the world as a representative of the place that you call home. As you move forward into a new life and take the lessons you have learned with you, there are some things we would like you to remember. You have no doubt by this point learned the unpredictability of life. We never know what one day will bring or what the next challenge will be. There is one thing that is certain in life, and that is that you will be challenged. However, through your life experiences so far and the lessons you have learned during your time in school, we hope to have prepared you for these setbacks. It is crucial to remain mentally strong in times of challenge. Forbes magazine listed some habits of mentally strong people. These include habits like embracing change, embracing failure, moving on when you make a mistake, forgiving others, and being positive. Mentally strong people experience joy and are willing to take risk. I believe that all of you exhibit these qualities or have the ability to exhibit these qualities. I have seen you develop and use some of these qualities in class, sports, and activities. As your school, we have a responsibility to teach you academics. We have to teach you about government or citing sources and writing, driving a car, living a healthy lifestyle. But we also have a responsibility to teach you how to go out into the world and not only survive, but thrive. And although sometimes lessons you learn in high school can be excruciatingly boring, or maybe even excruciatingly painful, these lessons help you to become the person you will one day be. The end of high school is only the beginning of your life, and the social and emotional lessons you have learned on top of your academic accomplishments are setting you off on the path to success. I asked your teachers to give you some advice today. If they could give themselves advice from when they were 17, 18 over the course of their life and what they've learned, and I'm going to share some of that advice with you. Mrs. Witzel, Mrs. Williams, Mrs. Metcalf, Miss Eve, and Miss Brown all talk about the speed of life. Life happens fast. Growing up is a process. Don't worry if you don't have it all figured out right now. Live in the moment. Be positive. Don't worry about things that are out of your control. Enjoy life. Don't worry about being perfect. Mr. Emig and Miss Cusk both offered advice about the ups and downs of life. Life is full of ups and downs, and you can do hard things. Learn to embrace the challenges because they are short-lived. Things will always get better. Mr. Dixler recommends finding trusting adults to talk to and seeking advice during difficult times. Mrs. Zimmerman, one of your class sponsors, encourages you to find time for those who matter. Life only gets busier and more chaotic. Make time for those who support you and cheer for you. Make the memories, take the pictures. And Susie. Susie has several pieces of advice for you. The graduating class of 2023. Tell the truth. Don't be afraid of the goals you set or be afraid to change course if the goal you have set isn't suiting you anymore. Finish what you start, but always be on the lookout for open doors. When you see an opportunity, take it. It is never too late to be a new version of yourself. You see, graduates, none of the teachers quoted today knew I would be focusing on the qualities of the mentally strong when they gave me their advice. But there is a common theme amongst these influential adults in your life who have helped to guide you on your path. Without knowing, each one of these people has named a quality or action of a mentally strong person in their advice. These caring people have helped to mold you. These qualities are within you. I'm going to leave you with one final piece of teacher advice, which is a combination of advice from Mr. Martin and Mrs. Roller. Every day is a gift. Do not let anything steal your joy. Try new things and enjoy the surprises of life. The challenges you face will make you a better person in the end. Mr. Berry, it is my distinct honor to present to you this class as meeting the requirements for graduation established by the Tremont 702 School Board and the Illinois State Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Ullman. On behalf of the Tremont 702 Board of Education, I'd like to extend a sincere welcome to friends and family members of our graduates. We appreciate your attendance as we celebrate a milestone in the lives of these young adults. Before accepting this class, it's my honor to recognize two groups of students. One group is our graduates who have been named Illinois State Scholars. Recognition as an Illinois State Scholar is based on a combination of academic achievement, grade point average, and SAT score. These students are considered to be in the top 10% of all graduates from high schools throughout the state based on the metrics that are used. I would like to ask Illinois State Scholars to stand when I call their name and remain standing until all have been recognized. This year's Illinois State Scholars are Shane Andrews, Alice Giovanetto, Gus Hodges, Molly Jones, JT Kaiser, Hannah Klaus, Ian Cook, Abigail Lee, Levi Lonis, Anna Parn, Bella Porritt, Alita Frail, Emily Roki, Asa Ropp, Lindsay Ropp, and Kaylin Young. Congratulations to our Illinois State Scholars. You may be seated. I would also like to recognize 7 students who were named graduates of distinction. They have successfully completed a prescribed curriculum involving the most rigorous courses THS has to offer while attaining a minimum grade point average of at least 3.75. They have already received their award, but we would like to congratulate them anyway, so I'd like them to stand and be recognized when I call their name. Shane Andrews, Sydney Bain, JT Kaiser, Anna Parn, Caden Pitts, Remington Roki, and Lindsay Ropp. Congratulations to the graduates of distinction. You may be seated. The class of 2023 is special to me. It's the last class for which I was high school principal before moving into my current role. But even though I was their principal during their freshman year, as mentioned earlier, it really wasn't even a full year. On Friday, March 13th, 2020, that's right, Friday the 13th, it was announced that schools would close and initiate remote learning for the remainder of that school year. When these students returned for their sophomore year, things were far from normal. One could argue that their senior year was the only normal school year they had while they were in high school. But here they are, ready to graduate and move on to bigger and better things. While it may be scary for them, or some of us, I'm confident that they are prepared for it. As I considered a theme for my remarks today, I wanted to present something that reflected that the class of 2023 was my last class as principal. So I went back to the first speech I gave here at THS to try to connect it to this one. Then I read a few more of my speeches over the years and I got an idea. When a band or a musical artist has been around for a while and maybe their record label wants to make some money with very little cost, they often put out a greatest hits album. Think about some of the greatest hits albums that you may be familiar with. I did some research, and the best-selling album, not just the best-selling greatest hits album, but the best-selling album of all time in the United States, the Eagles' Greatest Hits. I'm sure all of our graduates have that one in their phone. It was released in 1976, and it included songs from the band's first 5 years. Since its release, it has sold over 40 million copies. Now, I've always enjoyed presenting graduation speeches, and I try to make each one of them somewhat memorable for graduates and make them unique to the class. For the class of 2023, I've compiled the themes, messages, and advice delivered to the 10 previous THS graduating classes as part of a greatest hits graduation speech. Why deliver one piece of advice when you can deliver 10? The class of 2013 was my first class. That year's theme was the importance of family and how a class spends so much time together over a period of years that they take on unique characteristics of a family. I compared myself to the dad of their class family. So I guess this class would be my 11th child. or 14th if you count my actual kids. The class of 2014 speech included numerous references to Disney movies. Frozen had just come out, and with 3 young daughters, I had seen it at least 4,000 times. The message was derived from themes you typically see in Disney movies. Stay positive, be persistent, believe in yourself. When you face hardship or frustration, let it go. I'll stop there. The class of 2015 focused on words, and it included quotes from song lyrics and Dr. Seuss. The message was that while we all know actions are important, words are important also. Words can lift up others, but they can also be hurtful to others. So your words need to be chosen carefully and combined with actions in a responsible and productive way. 2016 was the first freshman class when I arrived here, and their graduation came 20 years after I graduated high school. So I talked to them about how the 4 years of high school flew by, and I was certainly there to tell them that the 20 years after high school will certainly fly by as well, and it seemed to go even faster. The message was to experience and enjoy life because your time's limited. Don't take it for granted. 2017 was a speech that included all 70 graduates' names in some manner. The message for that group, or the message was that group was made up of all unique individuals, and they all had different backgrounds. And because everyone is different in their own way, we shouldn't be judgmental of one another. 2018 was an interactive choose your own adventure story. That was a fun one. I had to write like 3 speeches and only got to use one of them. The students got to pick which direction the story went. The message, though, which is probably obvious, is that you're graduating high school now, you get to choose your own adventure. 2019's speech was about the importance of being humble and admitting when you're wrong. Don't get so caught up in your own accomplishments that you miss opportunities to learn from your mistakes. One of my favorite quotes was used in that speech. It's from author C.S. Lewis, and it says, "Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less." Pretty deep. 2020 was the COVID graduation. Graduates came in one at a time to receive their diplomas, and we compiled it all into a video. That speech intentionally included a bunch of cliches, and the message was not to be cliche, but to be unique instead. 2021 graduation was held outside. That year, I emphasized the importance of learning from mistakes and making sound decisions. Last year's speech was about the importance of setting goals. More importantly, it was about setting new goals as you continually challenge yourself along the way. Don't be complacent. So as you can see, there have been a lot of different messages over the years. Family is important. Be positive, be persistent, believe in yourself, be thoughtful with your words, all that. But I also thought the class of 2023 deserves its own message too. And my message to this class is don't approach life like I approached this speech today. There's a phrase you may have heard, don't rest on your laurels. What that means is don't be satisfied with past success and do nothing to achieve further success, which is somewhat similar to what I told last year's class, but a little bit different context. I started off today talking about greatest hits albums. Don't be so satisfied with your own greatest hits that you stop creating new hits. It's my sincere hope that your time here has prepared you to do just that. Congratulations to you all. Presenting diplomas today to our graduates will be Board of Education members Mr. Robert Ropp and Mr. Kevin Smith. We respectfully ask that audience members help us continue our tradition of recognizing the graduates in a dignified manner when their names are read. Will row 1 please rise? There we go. All right. Grace Catherine Houlin.
Grant Philip Holden.
Alejandro Gabriel Haitley.
Isabella Grace Horit.
Brianna Nicole Litz.
Miguel Joseph Haley.
Wyatt Michael Thomas.
Mackenzie Sierra Jade Fulton.
Callie Nicole Burdick.
Gabriel Maximus Orozco.
Peyton James Nelson Murphy.
Allison Michelle Scott.
Kaylin Hadassah Young.
Reed Garrett Holton.
Elijah Nadarian Nasser Rhodes.
Emily Marie Roki.
Sydney K. Bain.
Austin Robert Tippett.
Jackson Tyler Kaiser.
Maria Paulina Gardner.
Jada Noel Rumbold.
Broderick Keith Patterson.
Brady Nicholas Ullman.
Alida Catherine Frail.
Grace Patricia Drews.
Zachary Gerald Swingle.
Nicholas James Parkin.
Eliana Joy Leitner.
Kelsey Lee Allred.
Carson Levi Wolford.
Mason Evan Edward Weinzerl.
Kaden Isabella Pitts.
Kylie Marie Utek.
Justin Michael Johnston Stetler.
James William Ridings II.
Catherine Elizabeth Reidinger.
Aspen Rain McMillan.
Gustav Lee Hodges.
Ian Matthew Cook.
Peyton Marie Tanner.
Cambria Kaya Geyer.
Levi Henry Lonis.
Lane Dimitri Sauter.
Amelia Grace Rungard.
Hannah Lee Henderson.
Ezekiel Jean Litweiler.
Hale Howard Lutz.
Macy Dakedesh Bekele Hilrich.
Morgan Alexis Hendrickson.
Logan Allen Poisel.
Daniel Dwight Whitaker.
Ashlyn Renee Reisinger.
Molly Danielle Jones.
Sean Vincent Connell.
Remington J. Rookie.
Lauren Elizabeth Wagenbach.
Alice Paige Gevanetto.
Morgan Nicole Fair.
Alexander Matthew Garcia.
Asa Timothy Rock.
Tegan May Ely.
Sophie Jean Frederick.
Brody Charles Mathis.
Casey Andrew Gard.
Whitney Rose Rumbold.
Autumn Jade Kendrick.
Thomas Landry Kahn.
Brady Edward Poisel.
Mackenzie Joe Flederer.
Tess Addison Brewer.
Anderson James Clark.
Logan Allen Stedman.
Lindsay Elaine Ropp.
Anna Jean Harn.
Micah Philip Hoving.
Ty Decker Connor Jr.
Maya Ellie Flederer.
Savannah Beth Hart.
Cooper Thaddeus Cheney.
Joshua Michael Souter.
Abigail Faith Lee.
Shane Brianna Andrews.
Erin Nicole Pulliam. Will the rest of the class of 2023 please rise? Having met the requirements set by both the Illinois State Board of Education and the Tremont Board of Education, I hereby accept this class and certify that these individuals have graduated from this institution. You may now adjust your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to officially present and be the first to congratulate the 128th graduating class of Tremont High School. Best wishes to you all.